Well, what is happening, folks? Welcome to another day in the adventures of Guess Where I Am Today. So let's have a look around and see where we are today. So I am staying in the Paris Hostel, Paris Hotel, which is in downtown Tijuana, folks. Yes, right over there is the American border. I don't know if you can see in the distance there, but there is like a wall. It's kind of like a giant peace wall. It's like being back in Belfast, hey folks. Everywhere I go, reminded of home. Right there is Divis Mountain. There's the peace wall. No, actually, this is a bit of a bigger thing, because that is an international border. As you can see here on the Mexican side, we've got lots of homes right up until the border, and then on the American side, it's just vacant land, because that is no man's land. So I've arrived, folks, down at the Playa de Tijuana. Just took a short Uber ride down from the city centre. It looks pretty close on the map, but actually it's about 20 minutes driving, so about 3 hours walking. Some of the areas don't look the George best, to be honest, but down here on the playa, the taxi driver said you stick to the wooden walkway here. It's pretty safe, pretty secure, but he said if you go onto the area surrounding it, it's a bit sketchy. So let's have a look around, folks. As always, you come on the journey. Yeah, so the American border is literally just down here. In fact, let's take a walk. So literally in the distance over there is San Diego, the city where I was just at a few days ago in the United States of America. So we're currently on the Mexican side. I'm going to take a walk up to the border fence and see what that's like. I'm not sure if that's some sort of bar or someone's house. Looks like a ship or something. Got the music going on anyway. Yeah, a lot of the buildings look quite run down. I don't know if they're closed or what. I'm not sure. Looks like some taco place, but it looks pretty shut. Anyway. I wonder if anyone tries to swim around into the USA. There doesn't seem to be anybody protecting the border, but I'm about to walk up to the fence anyway. It's not very often you encounter a international border fence on the beach, you know, as you're going down for a swim. I wonder what would happen if you went out for a bit of surf and you actually got washed back into the other side. Were you picked up by the police, or? I'm sure someone's tried it. I'd say this area is under massive surveillance. I would say that is definitely the case. And obviously, me being from Belfast, I'm well used to seeing dividing walls, but nothing like this here. You know, we've got Belfast, we have dividing walls between the two communities, which you can cross, you know, most of the day. They just close at night time sometimes, but this is literally an international border where cannot cross. You have to go into to San Isidro and show your passport or your documentation. Well, folks, I've made it to the border. Doesn't seem to be any way through here. It is quite a high fence. If you look at this here, there's barbed wire goes all the way along the top, and I don't know, I don't fancy my chances. You know, I could take a little swim outside there, but it does say, there's a big sign in there that says restricted area and no trespassing, so I don't know. I can't see anybody on the other side. It's kind of just an empty beach. So it's just a kind of no man's land. I don't think anybody lives there. I mean, there's houses right up until on this side of the border. You know, as you can see, there are houses and shops and there's people on the beach, but on the other side of the barrier there's literally nothing. It's literally just, there's quite a lot of seagulls. Quite a lot of seagulls are in no man's land, so they obviously haven't crossed the border legally. They're just sitting there. But yeah, you can see quite a far in the distance there's a helicopter. There's literally a lot of nothing as far as I can see, until there's any sort of habitation on the other side, folks. So San Diego is well in the distance there. It's not like there's a, you know, a short border. It does seem to stretch on for quite some time. So this wall obviously stretches from the sea coast to coast. Essentially, well, the border runs from coast to coast. I don't know how big, if it's the same height all the way along, but it certainly was quite famous recently when Donald Trump was wanting to build this wall along the southern border. So this is what it looks like. Essentially, it's just a rusty old fence, but there is a bit of no man's land in the middle there. Highly under surveillance, I'm sure. A lot of people watching this at the minute, I'm sure. A lot of eyeballs on the wall. But it does sort of remind me of the walls we have in Belfast, our own country, Northern Ireland. We have walls basically dividing our two communities. So yeah, it's interesting to visit. A lot of people want to get into the United States. I'm not quite sure why, to be honest, because what I witnessed there was a lot of deprivation, a lot of homelessness, a lot of drug addiction, which I don't see in the Mexican side of the border. You know, I think my personal opinion is that there's a lot more social instability on the northern side. But look, I'm just an observer. I'm just an Ulsterman traveling the world. I can only say what I see, but for sure I did have a little bit of I did feel glad to get back onto the Mexican side, because to be honest, Los Angeles and San Diego, I didn't feel safe on the metro system. Walking the street downtown LA was pretty ropey. I don't feel that way in Mexico. I don't feel shady or dangerous. So I think it's all about perspective, folks. I'm sure that if there's any Americans watching now, and they may be scared to come south of the border, but it's actually, my feeling is that it's more welcoming, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, I'm walking up to the end of the wall. Well, not the end of the wall, and the wall goes on for miles and miles. It goes on literally to the other side of the country, but this is as far as I can walk for now. I could walk into someone's garden, but I'm not going to do that. You get the idea. That's the length of the wall as far as I can see, but you can see people living right under the shadow of it here. I'm not going to try and cross. I crossed by myself the other day. It was pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You basically pay $30 to cross a bridge, and it dumps you in the middle of nowhere. At least if you coming to Tijuana from within Mexico, you don't leave with the exit for United States, leave with the Mexico exit. Get an Uber, which is $7, $6. Uber to the San Isidro crossing, cross hassle-free, and then get the trolley, which is about $3 into San Diego. So all in total, less than $10. If you get the CBX crossing, it's going to cost you about $70, because there's no public transport on the other side, so you have to literally pay an Uber to take you into the middle of San Diego, as opposed to getting the trolley, which is only $2.75 or $3. Definitely the way to go is to get the trolley from San Isidro. I'm going to leave you with some more images of this border, this frontera. I'm pretty hungry, so I want to go and get some food. So folks, I'm just down here in Tijuana, Rocco's restaurant, just checking it out, a bit of a seafood place. So I do love being beside the sea. The chela in hand, a chela, some nachos. The sea view, look at that folks, let's have a look around. Well, salute folks, salute to that, cheers. One of the favourite foods I've discovered here in Mexico is ceviche. So it's essentially raw fish, but it's dipped in lemon juice. It takes away the sort of fishy flavour. I'm not sure if it originated in Mexico or Peru, but either way, it's now one of my favourite dishes. Ceviche, so I've just got a tostada de ceviche. And here's some tacos de pescado. It's not too dissimilar to good old fish and chips, battered fish. So if you're looking a bit of British, well, it's not British, but you know, a bit of battered fish like we do back in the UK, have one of these here, boys, here. Taco de pescado. It just is like fish and chips. But yeah, the ceviche, something I didn't think I would like, but I actually love it. So anyway, buen provecho folks, enjoy the view.